Look, it's an almost mission near impossible tour. It's coming on the eve of what's expected to be a bloody, grueling, horrific war, and so Blinken came with a few major objectives. One was to reiterate Biden's rock solid support for Israel, basically giving Israel essentially a free hand to do what it deems necessary in order to eliminate, from Israel's perspective, the Hamas threat, but also to rally Israel's Arab neighbors around the idea that Hamas is not on the side of the Palestinian people, that Hamas doesn't represent the Palestinian people, and to try to, more broadly, prevent a wider conflict. So let me just show you a quick list of the things. Now, the picture there shows Blinken earlier today with the Saudi foreign minister, Faisal bin Farhan. I'll speak about that in a minute, but can we bring up that we had a little chart there of all of his. I've memorized them. We don't need
there
to.
it is.
There they are. I don't have to rely on my memory. So his wish list here, Allison, is, like I said, to avoid a wider conflict. And we've seen the skirmishes and more than that on the northern border with Israel, Lebanon southern border with Hezbollah. Will that spill over? Hezbollah being sponsored, a real proxy in Lebanon, powerful Shiite Islamist group of Iran. And will Hezbollah and Iran be brought into the conflict? So can a wider conflagration, a wider war be prevented? He's been trying to go around the region. He's, from Jordan to meeting with the Palestinian Authority president, also in Jordan, he's going to be moving on to the United Arab Emirates, to Egypt. He was obviously in Israel, now Saudi Arabia today. Inveighing on them. Civilian safe zones has been a major, major objective. Unresolved at this point. We don't know what was said behind the scenes, but between the safe zones, creating places within Gaza where civilians would be safe presumably from bombardment or other harm, that is a big objective. Opening these humanitarian corridors that I was talking about also, that's also involving the food, being able to come in from Egypt. Still unresolved. Doesn't mean we don't know what was said behind closed doors. We do know that in Israel, he achieved the objective in showing Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. stands foursquare with Israel. He was in Qatar as well, which is a very principled player because Qatar has direct ties to Hamas. Qatar is home to some of the Hamas top political leadership, and Qatar has been effective in negotiating hostage releases in the past. So we worked on that dossier in Qatar, the hostage release scenario. Don't know how much progress it might what fruit it might reap coming, in the days to come. Maybe nothing, maybe something. He will be in Egypt also in the next day, and Egypt can bring a lot of influence to bear as well on the humanitarian corridor, the humanitarian aid situation, since it controls that southern crossing. So between Israel, Qatar, and Egypt, those are the three countries where Blinken on this tour, which will wrap up tomorrow, this 4-day tour, could get something done. But as of this hour, it is easy to look at it, and on paper, not much has been accomplished. But like I said, diplomacy, a lot of it is always behind closed doors, and a lot of it only happens after the fact, and when it's done, you don't realize that it was happening at the time. So right now, it's a tour that is, I would say, half of a success in the fact that he at least has made a sweeping tour in a very short time of the entire region and has been able to very clearly communicate his message and press his objectives that we just saw.